sitzen hier in Köln in der Kantine und haben ein Gespräch mit dem Sänger von 16 Horsepower. Nice to meet you. Very kind that you have the time for us. And we have some questions. Well, the first is the record you did now, which came out in Germany, is some kind of compilation.
Eure aktuelle CD ist eine Zusammenstellung diverser Live-Dokumente. Warum diese CD? Die CD ist ein Mix aus Aufnahmen aus der Zeit des Anfangs und Aufnahmen aus den folgenden Jahren. Manches davon haben wir seit Jahren nicht gespielt. Wir wollten den Leuten zeigen, wer und was wir waren, als wir begannen mit 16.
The shows that were surrounding those times that we had recorded. So basically it was, everything that we did before we were signed to A&M Records and all that, and made records, and just basically something to kind of clear out the closet of all the stuff that, some of the songs we haven't played in like 9 or 10 years or something, so. And touring as a three-piece as well, which is something that we've never really done in Europe before, so kind of showing people what 16 horsepower was when it started out.
Do you save all the stuff you do in studios or you do on concerts? Is it so that you have a huge...
Sichert ihr all eure Aufnahmen von Konzerten und Radiosessions?
Really?
Nicht wir, aber andere Leute tun dies. Radio- und TV-Leute zum Beispiel.
It's usually somebody else doing it, you know what I mean? Some
bootlegging or stuff?
No, not necessarily bootlegging, but like radio or television or this or that. And so we just compile things from people, and sometimes we record our own, especially early on. That's why we have so much early on, is because we did record a lot of it early on, just so we could see what we sounded like.
Do you see yourself more as a live band?
Seht ihr euch als Studiogruppe oder eher als Live-Gruppe? Beides.
And the influences, where do the influences come from? When I take a look at the music you do, it feels on one hand very dark and very emotional, and I always think, where does this come from? The way of singing, the way of putting emotions into songs. What are your main influences? I do not mean bands. I mean maybe books or films or the country you live in.
Eure Musik ist dunkel und emotionell. Wo kommt das her? Bücher, Filme? Dinge, die mich interessieren, Dinge, an die ich glaube, Familie, Beziehung, Bücher wie die Bibel und mein Glaube.
Family and relationships. And, some books, the Bible, of course, which is my main inspiration as far as what I believe and what I'm hopefully passionate about, I guess.
Would you call yourself more an emotional person or
Bist du ein emotioneller oder ein eher planender Mensch? Ich versuche einfach nur meine Musik zu machen.
I don't know, it's hard to say. I try to make the music that I want to make, you know what I mean? And that entails being, sincere and I work hard at it.
When you take a look at the instruments 16 horsepower use, the first thing that you see as a visitor of a concert is the special microphone that you have there, and I think it's called bandeon. How is it called?
Bandonion.
Yeah.
Eure Instrumente benutzen ein spezielles Mikro, ein Bandonion und das Banjo. Ich liebe es, wie diese Dinge klingen. Der Klang alter Mikrofone, der Klang des Banjos.
The things that I hear and I like, instruments and things like that, I like to incorporate them into what I do just because I like their sound, what they sound like. So, I like the sound of old microphones and I like the sound of the bandonion and the banjo. So, yeah.
When did you first get in contact with these kind of instruments? For me, they seem very.
Wie kamst du in Kontakt mit diesen doch eher der Folkmusik zugeordneten Instrumenten? Ich hörte Folkmusik.
Well, I listen to folk music mostly, is the kind of music that I listen to. Or you could say just traditional music, from all over the world or whatever. So I hear a lot of different instruments. Yeah.
When did you begin to perform on?
Wann hast du damit begonnen, zum Beispiel Bandonion zu spielen? Vor 13, 14 Jahren habe ich Eugene und französische Musik gehört, habe mir ein Eugene-Akkordeon gekauft, das nicht mit dem Bandonion zu vergleichen ist. Es hatte einfach nicht die Tiefe und Breite, die ich wünschte. So kam ich zum Bandonion, das ich in einem Laden sah und gleich kaufte.
At first I bought a Cajun accordion, which is much different than a bandonion. I liked it, but it didn't have a lot of depth and range to it, so I had heard people playing the bandonion before, Astor Piazzolla and people like this. So I saw one in a shop one day in a used place. It was like 105 years old, this thing, and I bought it.
Ist es schwer zu bespielen? Wenn du das wirklich solo spielst, schon. Oder du spielst wie ich, naja.
So you use it as not really as an
instrument. Ein Werkzeug, kein Instrument. Ja, ein Werkzeug.
I see. Well, when we talked last time, you told me that your influences from your youth.
In unserem letzten Interview sagtest du, du habest früher Dylan, Joy Division, Gun Club gehört. Was hast du heute? Mittelaltermusik, Tanzmusik, Sonic Youth.
I listen to a lot of like medieval music, like early music. People that do that. This guy Jordi Savall. That kind of music I listen to. Arvo Part. The band Smog. Flaming Lips.
Sonic Youth? Oh, very strange music. I did not think about Sonic Youth when I heard 16 horsepower. But listening is not meaning, doesn't mean it is an influence. Sonic Youth are
sure, they're definitely an influence, especially in just the droniness of the music, and that's what they, that's where they live, in the drone. I love that.
I see. A lot of people that I gave the record to listen to tell me, that guy must have a lot of problems because the way he is singing, it seems.
Viele Leute denken, du hättest Seelenmut in der Art, in der du singst. Ja, mancher denkt, ich wäre sehr melancholisch. Das ist ein wenig richtig, aber nur bedingt.
You must be really impressed, or you've done something terrible, or, which is true. But basically what I do is I take small things and big things, but more often small things, things that I consider to be evil, which, just basic things, just like being selfish, wanting to sit in a certain seat, simple thing, just everyday, normal things that we do all day long and don't even think about that. To me, are just as, there's not much difference between that and robbing somebody or whatever, it's just, so I kind of amplify these small things and kind of give them the
special direction.
Well, give them the attention and the drama that they actually represent, but that we just look past, if you know what I mean.
Okay. When I take a look at the music and about the lyrics, a lot of the lyrics are about things like death or horses, all these things. When I took a look at, especially at folklore, horses are a thing which I find in a lot of songs, and darkness and death. Which experiences did you have with maybe death?
Oh, well.
There's a strange story when I first got a record from you. I had an info, and in that info there was telling the story that you had to go with your grandma at the church every Sunday and all these things.
Die Texte drehen sich vielfach um Dinge wie den Tod, Fotos auf Erfahrung. Das heißt, du hast mit deiner Großmutter teilgenommen und in offenen Särgen gebetet. Mein Großvater war Prediger und ich bin in Kirchen aufgewachsen. Wenn es Beerdigungen gab, war ich meistens dabei und habe mit der Großmutter an offenen Särgen gebetet. Schon befremdlich, das stimmt.
Whatever, so, but yeah, they would go and I would look, my grandmother would tell me to go look at So go look downstairs. Whenever I go down there, there's this guy laying in a casket, which was kind of strange, I guess.
Yeah. But other experiences, I always ask the people, what kind of job did you do before you get into the music business?
Was hast du getan, bevor du Musik gemacht hast? Nicht Totengräber oder so? Nein, ich war Zimmermann.
No, I was a carpenter.
You were a carpenter? I see. What would you have done if you wouldn't have been a musician? What kind of art are you interested in too? Or is it just the way that you say, I can't express myself?
Wenn du kein Musiker geworden wärst, weiß ich nicht. Ich bin nicht gut in anderen Dingen außerhalb der Musik.
I'm not really good at anything else than playing music, and I don't feel I'm that good at that either, but I don't know, that's just what, I don't think about it that way. I just, I think this is what I'm supposed to be doing, and this is my best way to communicate with people, so I try to do it as best I can. Beyond that, I can't really worry, I guess.
Last question. What should the people say about you 10 years after your death? What would you like that the people have in mind, reminding your person, your art, or your music?
Was sollen die Leute über dich sagen, wenn du einmal tot bist? Hoffentlich denken sie dabei an Gott.
I don't know. Just hopefully that they would think of it would cause them to think about God in some way.
What is your, one question I have at last, what is your imagination of the living after death? I know that you are someone who has a strong faith, but faith, there are so many faiths in the world, and so many, especially Christian faiths. I told to Maria Solomon, you said that you know her about that theme too.
Vorstellung über das Leben nach dem Tod, das, was in der Bibel steht. Losgelöst vom Körper zu sein, heißt Gott nahe zu sein. Ich habe keine genaue Vorstellung, wie es anders sein könnte. Ich weiß es nicht und denke auch nicht zu sehr darüber nach.
I have no concern about anything else other than that, other than being present with the Lord, and whatever I don't try to preconceive what it would be like. I just know that I have no idea what it's going to be like.
Angst vorm Tod. Angst vor Schmerzen vielleicht, aber nicht vor dem Tod.
Well, I have fear of pain.
It's fear of pain, of dying. But it is another thing when you have fear of being there, for not knowing what is coming, being unsure what will be. And most of the people have fear that they die in pain. I think everybody, but the other thing is not a fear that you share.
Oh, sometimes maybe, sure.
Sometimes.
Well, yeah.
Well, famous last words. Have you got anything to say?
Berühmte letzte Worte an dein Publikum. Danke fürs Zuhören.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much.